Everybody? Is your boy Prime here with Shaba and Dappy. And from you see the three away, you don't know your 3 points gone. Welcome back to Global Sports from a Caribbean perspective. You don't know it's one GSCP. And if you really love sports, you're a diehard sports fan, or you're just here for the vibes, this is the show for you. We're bringing you the latest news from all across the world in the world of sports, and we're adding our own Caribbean flavor, our own Caribbean vibes to the discussion. Today, we got some quick hits for you. We got some interesting developments on the local and regional scene, and some developments further afield. So when we swing, we're going to hit it right out the park. Quick fire, one time, my boys. What do you think about the Emancipation Cricket Festival? Hold on. You know?
They lost.
We lost the final, but representing still. Big up Kingston Kings. Big up my side one time. I only representing because I'm from town. I ain't really too familiar with the franchise. Of course, it's the first time we're having the cricket festival in general, you know. New team, new dynamics, of course, but Captain Keswick Williams did deliver a good performance for us. We made it to the finals, and I was proud to see them representing. But what do we think about the cricket festival, man? How was it?
Overall, I think it was a success for the overall participation of cricket in the country. What I would say in relation to the final is shout out to Andre Fletcher, who put on a superb performance
Massive,
with an
massive.
unbeaten century. He certainly loves playing in St. Vincent. I think it's his second century in the last few months, because he scored a century in the VPL as well. And
Right
so
here.
yeah,
He
so
likes the stadium. He
loves the stadium. So shout out to him and the Grenadines team. But I think it was an overall success.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we had the Grenadines Whalers defeating the Kingston Kings in that final. And I think it was one of the better attended days of the festival, the Sunday night, you'd have to say. And just to see, I think there's a lot of potential there. But we have seen that potential in some of the other games that we've seen at the newly renovated Anfield Stadium. We've seen it in the VPL as well. And we will also see it coming up in the Caribbean Premier League to follow further afield regionally. But just to stay with the local competition for a little bit, the semi-finals was interesting because of the structure. You had, two teams playing each other basically. So I think in the first semi-final, it was Kingston Kings versus the Leeward Lions. And in the second semi-final, it was the Grenadines Whalers versus the Windward Warriors. So you had the Grenadines Whalers and the Kingston Kings being the two teams to advance to that final. What do we say about what do we think about the structure of it? I think I might have preferred seeing maybe a league structure, a league format, with all the teams getting a chance, you're right, to play each other. But that's just from a personal standpoint. I mean, a short amount of days to execute it, it being an emancipation festival, we could see why they went for that sort of knockout style. But what do we think? How well do you think it was received, and what do we think are the potential for that particular iteration of it to grow in the future, or other such ventures?
Yeah, I think it's was great, especially for the fans of cricket, because I believe that people come out to watch cricket a little bit more than they would football. Like, the cricket is easier to follow, ball goes 6, ball goes 4, man out, so it's a lot more easier to follow, and it keeps them more engaged. So bringing in Shakib Al Hassan, the Kyle Myers of the world,
Yeah, the market
all those
players.
big names, Jamel Warrican, who's the son of the soil, but is based in Barbados. Just seeing all those big name guys come and play in just such a small tournament, for such a short time. It was good to see, and I know the fans received it well, and I believe they could only get bigger from here. It could only go from here.
So it's a nice start, to start platforming.
Yes.
Shaba, what do you think is the potential for growth in not just this festival, but other such type of sporting activities? Do you think there's a market or appetite amongst the Vincentian and the regional community for more sporting activities, more events, more competition?
Certainly, from all parties involved, this is something that could be a regular occurrence. They mentioned in the post-game press, the presentation ceremony, that this is the first of an annual competition. So let's hope that does become a reality and the competition eventually evolves, get bigger, and involve more overseas players and that kind of thing. So there is definitely potential for growth with this Emancipation Cricket Festival and the likes because, as Bappy mentioned, Vincentians love cricket. They'll definitely show out for a cricket game, especially under those lights out at Annesville. So there is room for growth with this tournament, and I see no reason why it can't get bigger because as time evolves, our stadium will only get more and more exposure. So I see no reason why it could why it won't get bigger.
Okay, great man. Well, keeping in the topic of cricket, we know we have CPL coming up soon. Well, you got for CPL. You following it? Here you go.
CPL does be so random, to be honest. I would say Trinidad does usually have a strong team. With all those guys like Sunil Narayan and Kieran Pollard and the likes.
Big Falcons.
Well, I've been doing some research. They say Caribbean Premier League CPL 2025 promises to be a thrilling edition filled with explosive performances, emerging talents, and seasoned legends aiming to leave their mark. I'm reading from an article online. As one of the most vibrant T20 leagues globally, the CPL continues to blend cricketing flair with Caribbean passion, and this year's tournament is hopefully no exception. So, what do we think in terms of the display, the quality of cricket that's going to be on offer? We know we have a number of our regional players who've been getting that exposure on the international stage, a number of them playing in some of these international leagues, getting more regular cricket, getting more game time under their belt. What do we think is the potential for the growth in, our own iteration of that type of entertainment?
Okay, I'll be honest when I say that my attention span when it comes to the shortest form of cricket is not necessarily there as it would be for the longer format, which is probably an unpopular thing to say in 2025, especially for someone my age, right? But I am definitely aware of the significance of the Caribbean Premier League. It doesn't compare to the likes of the Indian Premier League and the Pakistan Premier League and that kind of, and those other big leagues, for example. But it's growing in stature. There are players from South Africa, Pakistan, Bangladesh that come to the Caribbean and play in the CPL. So, like I said, I know Trinidad usually has a strong team with Kieran Pollard and Sunil Narayan and the likes. So I would always consider them to be amongst the favorite. So, but for my personal following of it, I would be honest when I say I haven't paid that much attention to it over the past few years. And that's just a result of me not necessarily being fully invested in T20 cricket.
Not so much a fan of the shorter format.
So much a fan of the shorter cricket.
Definitely unpopular opinion right now because the younger folks tend to gravitate to that shorter format.
For sure.
Might be a little bit more excitement as compared to in the test match. The test match is more showcase of skill. It's for some people it's far more entertaining to see a player score 2 runs off 50 balls than hitting it out of the park. And some people might be, but why is that? Well, because of the level of skill required in actually holding your wicket and defending it. And perhaps a little bit less T20 and a little bit more batsmanship is what we need for the team. For the team that you're representing right now. But big up the crest. Same time, we're trying to rally. We're trying our best.
That's what I'm saying. It might be an unpopular opinion, but that's where I stand most definitely. If we could train our batsmen in the Caribbean to have that mentality to preserve the wicket instead of going and just swing at, our team would be much better because just look at the collapse that happened against Australia. There's basically no defense. That's basically what it's showing. Every time a ball comes from an Australia bowler is almost a wicket. So that shows we have no form of forward defensive mindset or action towards our cricket. And that is what would continue to deteriorate it down a bad road, in my opinion.
Given what we saw from some of our local boys in our own iteration of, the Emancipation Cricket Festival, what do you think is their potential for shining out there on the regional stage if some of them do get into the CPL or on the international stage even?
No, the talent is there for sure, as shown by the likes of Keswick and Obed and
Gillis Douglas, especially some of the young guys.
I'm saying the potential is there because opportunities and more T20 leagues and T10 leagues are playing all across the globe. So it doesn't take much for you to go and get a quick 50 of 20 balls for you to be recognized and get a contract. So I think the potential is there for any player who is, puts themselves.
Yeah, we actually not to cut off Shaba, but recently there was a Windward Island Super 50 and Simmons and Grenadines smashed about 400 odd runs in a 50 over match.
Right.
Sunil Ambris, I think, scored 120, and maybe Dylan Douglas as well. But as Shaba pointed out, we have the talent, we have the quality there. We have everything we want is in our backyard. It's just harness and just make sure we nurture, help and guide, and just put the right infrastructure in place. For people to move forward.
Move forward. All right. Well, we just touched on some really key points in terms of cricket as a regional sport, but also as a tool for development in that sport. And as we hit it over the boundary at that one, we're gonna switch straight from over the boundary onto the court. It's cricket to deal with, so I'll switch the sport on you one time. Fellas, what going on in the world of basketball, man? The West was dominant yet again, no surprise there. I think they had perhaps maybe this is the third highest difference in terms of that dominance in over the Eastern Conference. What do we think is up next? We're in the off season right now, but what do we think coming up next? Same one?
More of the same because the reigning champs, Oklahoma City Thunder, are from the Western Conference. I would say that they have a young team who will be together for the next few years, and I see no reason why they wouldn't continue to assert their dominance on the league. They have the
youngest champions in 40 something
in a long time, and
40 something years.
yeah, and they have the MVP, the best player in the league, the Finals MVP as well.
And they won the West by quite a bit too.
They were the number one seed by quite some distance, and despite them going 7 games with Indiana, I must give credit to them, Tyrese Halliburton and the crew. But Oklahoma City definitely were the best team over the course of the NBA season. And to your point about the Western Conference has proven to be the stronger conference over the past few years.
Cool. We see Houston getting Kevin Durant. That's their second place. You think they're gonna be able to compete with OKC next year?
I think so on paper. I mean, it's Kevin Durant. They do have Fred Van Vliet, who is a former winner. I hold Amen Thompson in high regard. That guy is a monster, a beast.
Right.
On both ends, bro.
Yes.
On both ends. It's like he just needs like a jump shot, but that guy is going to be something special, bro.
He's a stud.
So I feel like they have the right pieces. Şengün, forgot to mention him as well. They call him Baby Joker. I don't rate him that much, but in terms of to that regard, but I believe he's a really, really good player for his age and just the right piece for them. Another couple role players as well to fit in nicely. And yeah, Houston could give OKC a run for the money.
Cool. Let me throw the popular guy in here because I of course want to talk about LeBron. So let me just bring his team into the mix right now. So third place Lakers. Next year they have presumably a fitter, more adjusted Luka. They just signed him to an extension. I think it's 2-3 years.
2 years.
They seem to be preparing for the inevitability of a future without number 23. You think there might be any tension there stopping them from really going that final level, considering clearly now they're building the team around Luka, their new superstar?
I don't think so, because LeBron is smart enough to know that at this stage of his career, he won't necessarily be the best player on a championship team. He's 40 years old, right? He's still effective in his role in terms of facilitating and scoring and playing defense on occasion. However, he has been trying to cede the ownership of the team over for the past few years now, even with Anthony Davis. However, Anthony Davis never took that mantle. Right? Too soft, right? As Dappy said. But Luka is a young superstar who is the face of a franchise type player and personality and everything. So I think that Luka would embrace that role tenfold and take the Lakers to the next step. In terms of them winning the championship next season, the roster probably isn't complete enough to compete with the likes of Oklahoma City, who have been there and done that. Even Boston without Jason Tatum,
Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets with Nikola Jokic, who I think is still the best player in the league, right? So it would be happy for the Lakers to for me to label them as one of the favorites, because I would still have about 4 teams ahead of them. So
Quick hot take. Fit Luka.
We've seen this before, guys. We've seen a skinny Luka before, guys.
he's still not gonna be good.
Fit Luka, bro.
He's still not gonna be
Bro.
good enough on defense and
Bro.
I just want him to
Fit,
show the discipline that Shane spoke about on.
fit and fire.
He's shown us he could get slim in the summer. He's shown us that before. So what we need from him is to stay fit, keep that conditioning, keep that consistency, and let's see what a fit Luka can.
Is it a mentality thing? Because I mean the talent is there.
well, that's his style of play as well. It's a kind of lazy. I guess that's the European style of play as well. Slow at his own pace. But there's another side of the game as well, and teams tend to take advantage of him on the defensive end at the highest level when it comes down to it at the playoff stage and Western Conference semi-final, Western Conference final.
Understand?
You're meeting elite guards like Anthony Edwards,
Who
who's
not
three
easy.
past you. Three past you. And it's what it is. So while he might be able to provide elite offense, elite passing, elite facilitating, and out of fishiness, and defense now when it's crunch time, that's where it comes lacking.
Yeah, like it. All right.
Good.
So we're gonna stick with the NBA, but move on to a more disturbing story. To be quite honest, the WNBA has suffered its third sex toy throwing incident in about a week. Indiana Fever's Sophie Cunningham, sorry, has spoken out about it, spoken about the issues that they faced, And normally I know these people get branded as hecklers, but I think this is a step too far.
Yes. Yeah, like that's nothing ridiculous.
If it's a line you're crossing, I would think throwing a dildo onto the field of play is,
I mean, they do such people before they come in.
bro.
No, like we get such go to football games. I mean, that's tens of thousands of people. Like,
Goes back to the overall seriousness of female sports, or how female sports is looked at and accepted or lack thereof acceptance, right? Because no one would go to a NBA game and pull a stunt like that. Similar. So it just goes to show that women's sports is not taken as seriously as it should, because the WNBA is a growing league, right? It doesn't bring in as much revenue as the NBA, obviously. The women don't get paid as much for obvious reasons. But that doesn't mean we stoop to that level and disrespect grown women who have families, are mothers, wives, you know what I'm saying? So it just shows the overall disrespect of women's sports.
yeah, I wonder if this happened after they pay us US shots, like the 3 incidents, I wonder if everything started after that. Is this like, a little hit back at them because
American sports, generally speaking, have a number of issues with their athletes making, public and political
Statements.
adjusted statements or politically aligned statements. Sorry, but it is within anybody's, and this is a personal belief. perhaps, but it is anybody's right who is participating within an industry to comment on said industry. And I think it's a little unfair for us as fans. Kind of, I mean, we're stakeholders in it, yes, but we're on the outside looking in. I mean, how dare we tell people what their experience is like? So I don't know. I just saw it and it rubbed me the wrong way, and I figured we needed to talk about it because I know we're in our early stages, but I still would like us to be a platform to to bring light on more serious issues even within sport. And we don't have space in sport for those things. People come to sport for what it gives us together, and I think that's a space we can make as inclusive as possible, as understanding as possible, as peaceful, as respectful as possible. So we'll go ahead and condemn that one time. Quick hit and we not deal with it.
Here.
Yeah, man. Right about now, it's time for some predictions. It's time for some permutations. It's time for some declarations. It's time for say it with your chest. It's time for say it and don't take it back. It's time for mean what you say and say what you mean. All right, now we're going to look into the crystal ball. We're going to check out with third eye. We're going to look into the future. And we ain't going to just make predictions. You know, we're going to tell you what's going to happen. And if you doubt that, you doubt lah. If you doubt that, you doubt Jah. You understand? And who wrong, but who right. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
We're starting.
Starting anything, man.
All right. Premier League. I want top 4. I want most goals. So Golden Boot. Who's winning it? Bonus points if you get how much goals they get. I want your player of the season. And I want which club. We ain't gonna go like 3 clubs. Which club? You know for sure. Because we don't look into the future. So which club has already been relegated from Premier League 2025-2026? Once again, your top 4, your most goals, your player of the season, and which club is going to be relegated. We start with Shaba.
Okay, so I'll go with my top 4 to start, and I'll give a quick explanation as to why each team is in the position I'm going to place them. First, to be honest, I'll start from 4th place.
Yeah.
I'll start from
Real
4th.
Drum roll.
So in 4th place, I have Chelsea. Continuous progression under Enzo Maresca, Club World Cup champions, Conference League champions. They'll now be in the Champions League. More fixtures, more exposure for Cole Palmer, good signings with João Pedro, Esteval, Jamie Bino Gittens. Chelsea in 4th. 3rd place, Arsenal. I might be a bit controversial considering Arsenal finished 2nd for the past 2 seasons. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to regress. It just means that the 2 teams ahead of them
are going to
be much better, right? Because they have bought well with Gyökeres and Nadi Madueke and the likes. But I just think these 2 teams in front of them would have better seasons in the Premier League. In 2nd place, drum roll please, gonna have last year's champions Liverpool in 2nd. That might also be a shock.
Champions.
It might also be a shock, but I just think that they're lacking some depth in defense, especially. I don't think that Frimpong and Corkers would just slot in and do exactly as Trent and
slot in.
No pun intended. Slot in and do what Robbo and Trent have been doing for years, and I think it's underrated the partnership that they've had over the years and the success that it has had for Liverpool. Also, Liverpool have sold Jarrell Kwanzaa. At the time of recording, Liverpool have not bought centre back to replace him. Joe Gomez is injury prone. Konate and Van Dijk are the only solid centre backs there. They do have extreme firepower in attack. They've bought well with Ekitike and Florian Wirtz. I just think that it's very hard to repeat in the Premier League. Only City have done it since Sir Alex Ferguson's team. And I don't see this iteration of Liverpool being that much better than City and the field for them to just go and repeat. despite their obvious quality. So in first place, obviously, I have Man City and Mr. Pep Guardiola, who will come back and show that he's the best coach in England and take back what belongs to him. Right? So that's my top four. City first, Liverpool second, Arsenal third, Chelsea
Chelsea rounded out the top.
for most goal.
Solid shots.
For most goal, I'm going to say Erling Haaland
Golden Boot.
for Golden Boot. Not necessarily a hot take there.
European Golden Boot as well. I'm pushing it.
Hard to say. That would be me underselling the rest of my predictions. But let's just say he'll win the Premier League Golden Boot and take the Player of the Season trophy as well.
Haaland doubling up. Most goals.
Correct.
Player of the season.
And for relegation,
He's going down.
my certain relegation candidate would be, unfortunately, in this case, Burnley. Right? So those are my predictions for the season.
I feel like everyone is just beating the pub. Some great predictions there. I remember now, we don't look into the future. So we ain't telling you we think going to happen. No. We telling you it don't happen. You just ain't know it yet. Science. That's what you got.
Prime, Sharp again. Think I'll go start from the relegation, guys. So we Portugal established. I feel Portugal established. Burnley going down. But I have a hot take.
Any Burnley fans were sorry.
Brentford, who have been up for about 3 to 4 years now.
Keep it there.
I believe now with the exit of Mbomo and the
Norgard as well.
Norgard and the rumors around Wisa not being able to replace them with the same kind of quality.
Plus the coach.
And Thomas Frank has left to Tottenham Hotspur. It's just a bit too much at once. And I feel like, yeah, they would finally, they would be fighting to keep their head above water this time around. And they would not be avoiding the job, guys.
Good take.
Top four, I have a dark horse in here too, but top four, Chelsea, as Shab said earlier, it's just the continuity. Maresca's there, they just came off, a huge moral boost winning the Club World Cup. They still have the star boy, the X Factor, Cole Palmer there, bringing in strikers, and they are getting rid of Jackson. So things will be, so they for the better.
We need to adjust this. Not for Jackson, do you? No, God. No, we had a conversation about it. And you tell me, I don't remember which we friend them, but Chelsea fan. Yeah, he was talking to that.
Yeah, bro, Jackson just a terrible finisher, bro. It's down to that. The stats say it. He's good with carries, he's good with chance creation and that sort of stuff.
25.
But we want a striker to put the ball in the back of the net. If
Onion back, bro.
they have other guys doing that job,
For sure.
Jackson needs to put the ball in the back of the net. So as I said, yeah, Chelsea bringing in Dilap and João Pedro, proven Premier League players. João Pedro and Dilap would players with over 10 goals last season, so that only adds to the attacking power. And Chelsea, who a lot of people might shine the microscope on it, but they were the third best team in terms of goals conceded last season. So they have a solid foundation with the defense, and I could only see them getting better, and it showed in the Club World Cup.
Sure.
Arsenal will be third. I believe that this would be Gyökeres's, season to acclimatize himself. I mean, he has been in England before, but I feel like he wouldn't fully hit the ground running, or the system wouldn't fully hit the ground running around him as much as this is what they wanted. I feel like it would take some time for them to settle, and it might take too long for them to, catch back up in terms of points. They probably fall a bit too far back in terms of that getting to gel phase.
Nice.
I believe Manchester City will be coming second this year again. Last year was just so terrible and just with everything. The tactics, it just seemed like it just ran so stale for Pep in terms of just getting it right. Yes, Rodri was out, but I mean, this is Pep. This is Pep we're talking about. This is the court manager we're talking about. So, as much of how great Rodri is, I believe like the tweak should be made. Manager,
should have figured it out.
Make
by
things
himself.
right. So, I believe like he's gonna come with something new again, or try to tweak something, or be a little more aggressive, or be a little more conservative, and he's just not going to get it right enough to compete with Liverpool. I believe Liverpool, just with the signing of Watts, I mean, I don't feel Corkez and Frimpong will come in, start at the initial stages. Simicast and Connor Bradley, I believe, will be starting on the flank. Robertson, sorry. Yeah, but I believe it would take Corkers and them some time to come in. But I believe Liverpool just has that core, and the manager knows what he did it in his fourth season. Almost flawless, really.
We have to give him credit for that.
So I believe like it would just go from step to step, and it might be an impeccable season. It might be an impeccable season. I hear you question the depth, but I feel like before the depth used to harm them a bit in terms of the amount of rotations they would make, and they were never set. And look at what they did with a starting 11 or front three that was never really set.
Sure.
Most goal.
All right.
Most goals.
Credits.
Okay, if Isak, this is that it. If Isak goes to Liverpool, Isak gets most goals.
Sir.
Right? If he doesn't go, Salah.
Smooth Salah.
Player of the season, Florian.
Nice.
Respect. Some good shots. But remember, we tell you, say, we ain't telling you what we think going to happen. We're telling you what's going to happen. So let me tell you what's going to happen in the Premier League next season. Next season, there will be a four-way title race. You heard it here first. There's going to be a four-way title race. I'll give you the clubs, and then I'll tell you how it will happen. Chelsea is going to be involved in this title race. Arsenal are going to be involved in this title race. Liverpool are going to be in this title race, and Manchester City are going to be in this title race. I think the first club out of those four that is going to drop out. Oh, by the way, I go get to that. I think the first club that dropping out of this title race, unfortunately, would be Chelsea. I don't think one that I can see consistent performance at that level for them just yet. They've been quite impressive in terms of their rebuilding. They've bought well, they've sold well, they've been doing good business. They've also been doing, I mean, we talk a lot about the transfer business and stuff, but they've been doing good work on the field as well. I feel like you could see an identity coming out. The new coach is stamping his authority more and more on the team. You saw a lot of character from Chelsea in the Club World Cup. I mean, I know here end the season tournament, whatever you want to say about it, they showed character against European champions, bro. So I do think that they're gonna be punching above their weight next season. It's just that with multiple competitions to focus on, I think they might be pulled a little bit thin in certain areas rather than just focusing on the title race itself. Next club to drop out is going to be Arsenal. No hard feelings. I think I agree with what you said, Shaba, in that it's not that they're going to get worse necessarily. I think Gyökeres is probably one of the perfect strikers for Arsenal, and they've been screaming out. I think their style of play has been screaming out for an out-and-out striker for a long time, and, they've made an investment in a young, talented, sought-after striker. Those are hard to come by in Europe right now. So hopefully, if he can acclimatize properly, he would be a huge benefit to them in the years to come. I just don't think, given what I'm going to say next, that they will be able to not just stay in the title race until the end, but to really outperform the other two teams above them. It's not that they're going to get worse. I just don't think they're going to outperform them. Liverpool isn't going to repeat strictly because of I think it's just too many ins and outs at the time when the new coach. I mean, it's been smart business, and there's a lot of talent coming in, but take it from me, when you have so many different players from so many different places coming into a new philosophy, a new place, no matter how much that philosophy they might want to buy into it and so on, it's gonna take some time for them to get used to it. And the Premier League isn't an easy league, but it will be a down to the wire title race with the ball genius who I have taken the crown. I have him taking it because it's like I don't know. I really want to write like a fairy tale story, but I feel he coming with a bone in his throat. Jack. I feel Pep coming like a raging lion to really stake back the claim on that Premier League crown. Controversially, most goals Isak, whether or not he goes to Liverpool. He's just that good. I'm a La Liga fan. I'm telling you, he's that good. But I might be pushing it a bit for him to get the most goals under the Newcastle belt. But interestingly, if we're going to go down that route, if he goes to Liverpool, you understand? Right now, we're looking into the future, but as of right now, we didn't look into the future of the transfers to see what might
That's
take
what
place
it's
outcome
in terms of my
later on.
action and the depth.
Player of the season. Player of the season comes from Liverpool, though. Mohamed Salah, we've seen it before. I think he's just gonna give them another one of those iconic seasons. Relegation, I'm sorry, Burnley. I'm sorry.
Protocol or yes.
I'm sorry. You came up, you fought valiantly, but the shield is. We're going down! We're going down! All right, and we're going down, and we're going down to Spain one time. As La Liga fans, Spanish football fans, I want your permutations for the upcoming La Liga season. What is the top four looking like? Who is the most goals looking like? I could tell you. Stupid question to ask. And who's the player of the season looking like? Who relegation looking like? What's happening in Spain?
Right? Just like with the Premier League predictions, I'll go from fourth to first. Right, so in fourth position, I'm gonna go with Athletic Club, otherwise known as Athletic Bilbao. I think with the retention of Williams Jr., they would only go from strength to strength. I see no reason for a fall off. Chasing Park, the likes of Real Sociedad and Villarreal and the likes have not been necessarily the most convincing over the past few years. Real Betis might have something to say about that as well. But I just think that Athletic Club and the San Mamés have enough to take
Real juice there.
right? I think that it has enough to take Athletic Club into fourth place.
Mhm.
However, they will be in the Champions League this year as well, and it will be a challenge for them to maintain the league and Champions League intensity. So
Definitely.
that might be a drawback, something that I probably should have given more thought to. Just on player quality, I would maintain Athletic Club in fourth place. In third place, which is has been the position for the past few years, would be Atletico Madrid. They have bought well in the transfer window. I have noticed they've made a lot of nice signings, Johnny Cardoso, Alex Baena, and the likes. They still have one of the best players in the league in Julian Alvarez. Griezmann is still there. They still have Yano Black. Still have the likes of Jimenez in the back, but I don't think they have enough to keep up with the top two to compete for the title. They'll be there. They'll cause upsets. There might be times when they may be in first place, even midway through the season. But when the season finishes after 38 games, I expect them to be in third place. That leads me to second place. Now, the same point that I made in England, I'm going to make here in terms of the champion not being able to repeat. Right? And it looks unlikely at the moment because they only seem to be able to go from strength to strength from here. Right? It's a young team. Hansi Flick is a young coach. Good tactics and man manager. Right? However, if I am to draw some negatives, his style of play is extremely taxing physically. this is something that could catch up to the players eventually. The high press, the high line, that has been a topic for the past season. Teams would only figure that out more
Mhm.
because it wouldn't come as such a tactical shift or such a surprise to teams anymore. And we've seen it last year, despite how great they were and how poor Madrid were.
A lot of
The
teams got
the points tally in the end was still close. So I think that with that, the team in first place was obviously Real Madrid. With the addition of Xabi Alonso as the new coach, Shane mentioned it earlier when he was here that it's a massive change from Ancelotti's style of coaching
to what he's
to
doing.
Xabi's hands-on approach, which I would hope and assume for my prediction would only sit well with the players because it's clear that these are players who needs arms around them to succeed. And Xabi is definitely a player like that. He knows the club well and he has a winning history so far in his coaching career. So it will be a tactical shift as well because Madrid are going to play a different formation and players are going to have to get used to new rules. I'm basically banking on player quality. And that's my honest argument. I'm not going to provide you with big tactical analysis to say that Madrid are going to be the best team over the course of 38 games. But when the season is concluded, just based on player quality and or firepower up front or power in midfield and our stallions at the back and Courtois in goal, I just think that we would have enough to take it over the line. And with that, the
Most goals and play this season.
would both come from the same team, and it's gonna be the same player. It's gonna be Madrid's number 10, and he's gonna have another exceptional season. I'm sure he'll be on penalties, and he'll have all the opportunities afforded to him to get his second Pichichi.
Mhm.
Right? So Mbappe for most goal and player of the season, and for relegation, I think that Oviedo is a certain candidate to head back to the Segunda.
For Oviedo.
All right, guys. So the relegation battle are the three promoted teams from the Segunda Division. Levante, Oviedo, Elche. Elche, you for sure way down Elche. No doubt about it. You done gone, brother. But okay. Funny enough,
Who else?
fourth and third is the same as Sharp. They kept Nico, they still have, the best quality. But as Sharp said earlier, he didn't compensate for the Champions League and the European competitions that they will find themselves in. And Athletic Bilbao is not a team known for going into the transfer market and buying a whole lot of players. They get them for their quality. So it would be a difficult campaign for them, but I believe that quality will prevail and they would make it back into Champions League contention again. Atletico Madrid will fill out the third spot. Unless Madrid and Barcelona have a really torrid and terrible season, Atletico would stay right there in third place where they belong. It's no joke about it. They have the quality, yes, with Julian Alvarez and Anton Griezmann and the likes of Lino and so many others. But I feel like personally it's just like Pep, stale. And it's just time for renewal, it's time for a new coach, it's time for different tactics, a different approach. So, with that being said, Atletico would be typical Atletico. Hit farm, then fall off. Farm and would not, have enough points to compete for the fourth spot. And in second, this could be pessimism because I'm not as optimistic as Shaba. Madrid. Madrid will be in second place. Kylian Mbappe could he get most goals. No doubt about it. He could get most goals if he want. But it's down to balance. It's down to look playing football every single game. Great. You can play against Atletico. Ooh, this is great football. And then meet Mallorca and Osasuna and then walk around. It doesn't work like that. You have to come every game and play football. And I don't feel even with Xabi Alonso there, bro. Mbappe has an ego unless Mbappe looks into the mirror and works for the team, then this is only going one way. We're not going to get as much points as Barca, who play as a unit. I feel like Xavi Alonso has a lot of challenges on his hands. He still has a lot of formation tweaks to make, and the season is only so long. You gotta get it right early. So I still feel like we've had the advantage of the Club World Cup where you got to see your players early and you know how stuff to work on, but I still feel like he needs more time in order to gel, and Barca is a well-oiled machine. They don't You score four, they score five, and that's as far as I see it. So unless everybody walks it out in the league, bro, Barca is going to win the title. Mbappe could score more goals if he wants, and Lamine Yamal will get the best player of the league. That's me.
First.
Fairs. Fairs. I'm not going to introduce a lot more new information because, like I tell all you, we ain't predicting, we don't look into the future, we know what's happening, so we're just telling you what's happening. You understand? But I will tell you something different. One of them club there, we get promoted between Elche and now Ovid.
Elche and Levante.
Between Elche and Levante will stay up because the club that getting relegated plays in blue and white and just lost their goalkeeper.
Espanyol.
Espanyol is not no rivalry thing when I tell all of this. Your team literally was kept afloat by a Joan Garcia size floating device. It gone. We took it. We have him. Never mind, we can register him. We go deal with that after. But Espanyol getting relegated, bro. You heard it here first. Moving on straight into the top four. As much as my heart goes out to the Yellow Submarine, as much as my heart goes out to Betis, two clubs that I think need honorable mentions. I think they've been punching above their weight on the European stage as well, representing Spanish football and that technical quality that we love so much well. Athletic Club will come forth, and it's not because Nico Williams decided he was going to, live out his days as a bass player, him and his brother, not winning anything over there in Bilbao. You do you, bro. I find it very weird to be like, oh, sign me. I mean, we broke. You would have to try and make it happen one way. We can't give you guarantees right now, bro. Or we could tell you, you don't want to come and play with Lamine or not. You see all that social media shit? Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. Just stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. We go back here as a Spanish player, dog. We ain't had no problem with backing you, bro. You're a black man, you're a Rasta man. Big up yourself. I think you are insanely talented. But you see, this well you want you kind of nonsense. You and Griezmann does the pan. I glad we ain't sign you, honestly, because it might have turned into a Griezmann situation. Remember that whole movie, The Decision? I make a whole video for say why he stay in Atletico. And then the next year he come back, so 120 million. But Nico, like you go stay in a good place in my heart, and I go stay in a good place, generally. Third place, Diego, it might be a last one, I don't know. Maybe the rest of the football world wants you out before your time. I think you're a legend. I think you deserve where you are. I think you have bled heart and soul for that club. And if they want to continue the love story, to each his own, my bro, I can't vex with Atleti for wanting to keep their most successful manager in history. Manu had to part ways with theirs, and it's not been great ever since. So I could understand them sticking with,
True.
would they know and not. I'm not going down that road. In second position, I have gone with Real Madrid. Surprise, surprise. But I have gone with Real Madrid in second, not by a lot, but I've gone with them in second, particularly because I just think that there will be a lot for them to figure out this season, and winning a league compared to winning a knockout competition is about consistency. And I just don't see this Madrid team being able to show up that consistency over the 38 games. I know there is at least a dip or two in this team, defensively especially. And I will go on to say the losses they have experienced in midfield, I think, have been grossly understated because while they have bought well and they've bought talent, they haven't really like for like replaced some of those key pieces. The Madrid that we know and the one that we're talking about in terms of that era of dominance, especially on the European stage, was highly influenced by Casemiro, Cruz, and Modric. They have none of those players right now. And I'm not saying they're going to come second next year because they don't have Casemiro playing who they've lost however long. I'm saying you saw the Tony Cruz size hold in their midfield last season. And as much as he wasn't playing all that much, in times of peril and difficulty, one of the first subs on to the field was Luka Modric. So I just don't see them having enough to deal with what they will be up against because on the other side of Spain, in the Catalan capital, there hasn't been much changes. I mean, the financial situation is what it is, and we're still experiencing struggles in registering players. There's a bit of tension right now with our number one and our goalkeeper and club captain, Ter Stegen. There are still some issues to figure out in terms of some of the new incomings, whether they're going to be registered in time. Marcus Rashford, the new goalkeeper, Joan Garcia, even Rooney Bardghji as well. But I just think that Hansi Flick has demonstrated that he's not somebody to play with over the course of a league season because even when he experienced that dip in form last year, he was able to adjust. I just think that he will have a trick or two up his sleeve with the young players that he have, with the system that he have, with players buying into it and buying into that system more. With players getting better, young players have a tendency to surprise you in terms of how much they can still grow. So I think that even though it will go down to the wire, that he and Barcelona will have enough to edge out Madrid for the title this season. Most goals in La Liga is the worst kept secret in the world because it's the same person who's going to win the European Golden Shoe. Mbappe will score the most goals in Spain, bro. Like, I don't see almost 39-year-old Robert Lewandowski being able to keep pace with him. I'd be pleasantly overjoyed if he does. But I just don't see him being able to keep pace with one of the deadliest finishers in world football, one of the most clinical players overall. But I don't think he would win Player of the Season on account of his team not winning La Liga, as I predict. So I take the Player of the Season and had take all the probably Ballon d'Or for next season. God's willing. Prayers up for you, my boy. Our new number 10, Lamine Yamal, would be in for Player of the Season. And I know I said it before, but bye, Espanol. All right. And that is it. We have looked into the crystal ball. We've looked at the predictions. Those are the permutations. Guys, we're going to happen. Guys, are going to happen. And if that ain't happen, will it just mean a butterfly fell on the wrong side of a flower that morning? I know the butterfly effect, cause some different thing to happen. But as of right now, when we're looking at we third eye, that is what we see right now from Prime, Shaba, and Dappy. You heard it here first, folks, right here on Global Sports with a Caribbean perspective. Those are some quick hits and our predictions for the upcoming season. We've had a packed show for you today. Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share it up, post it on your stories, share it with a friend, and let's get it out there. We're bringing you Global Sports from a Caribbean perspective. All the latest in sports news, all the latest updates, all the best news, all the best entertainment right here with a Caribbean flavor on GSCP. What GSCP?
Global.
Global.
Wrong global.